They've got the first ban as well, no surprises here. Finka getting immediately removed from the pool as she's become more and more of a banned operator here in North America, as I think more and more teams are just getting tired of her.
And I bet you have no idea what I'm about to say right now. This next ban, it's probably going to be Thatcher, if I had to assume. We're getting down here to the wire. Beast Coast sitting on this for some time, or maybe somebody just not clicking onto the actual screen, and either way, it's still going to be Thatcher. So we'll see if Beast Coast is a little bit quicker about their defensive bans, but this is just going to be really limiting for the entry game, the overall HP values of the offense. That's what you're really looking for when it comes to Finka. She has so much potential to assist your team as long as she is alive, and I mean, past that, she has everything else that you would ever want on a Rainbow Six op. You have an LMG with a lot of bullets, a lot of damage value, not too much in the recoil department. You also have frag grenades as well on top of that, so makes it to where she's so very potent. Past that, Thatcher making a lot of sense, and then Mute and Azami going to be removed from the defensive end. The Mute, the one that stands out the most, obviously. Azami, we were talking about that and the fact that she is the highest ban rate operator currently on the defense side of North America, but for Mute, he's exactly on the opposite end. We don't really see him banned out that often, but there's probably a pretty good reason. The SAS ops are not only extremely influential for the defense, but also Mute jammers are very annoying. It can hold up not only walls, but also drones and everything else in between. And you still have that SMG-11 and that M590 to play some closer range or medium range engagements and find some impact through those means. So now that we've gotten through the ban phase, we can stop our bickering about the ops that we have indeed gotten rid of. We can jump into this first defense all the way downstairs for TSM.
Since it was a choice for Beast Coast, may have been in part to alleviate some of the pressure with getting onto these sites. Obviously going up against two different shotgun operators is going to be quite a task to work with. And then the obvious gain in terms of the intel game as well has its own advantages for Beast Coast by removing Mute. Also just a pretty comfortable pick for a lot of defenders on quite a few of these sites, so he's going to shake things up in the lineup a little bit there as a result of that. Not going to see the immediate response from TSM to go over towards Amazi, which is generally what we would tend to see in response to that, but at the same time, TSM probably thinking they don't necessarily need that denial outright at this point in the game, so not going to be bringing that probably for a few rounds.
Sweater will be initially working his way in through the garage. Has one in split, but most of TSM is spread through these top two floors. You have Geo over near Big Tower, a player over in security, and one up top. But Cheetah's going to take some damage, but he should not re-peak this. He really wants to try and play out his life and play for time, force Beast Coast to clear the map, not the other way around. It's going to be Merc, the player inside of Kitchen. He's actually on Oryx, so he'll be able to vacate that area if he so chooses later on and get his access to a hatch, but it doesn't seem like he's really going to be able to do that just yet. It's actually Chief's going to get taken down on the other end, so he's got some bigger fish to fry. It's going to be Bolo up top here, looking for the armory stairwell. Still has to worry about one down low as well. He's going to actually take out Anthony inside of Classroom, and that's going to slow down the push just initially, but not before Sweater trades out on a Bolo and Merc with a beautiful shot from Split.
Brings it down to a 3v3. Slash will be getting ready to move himself upstairs to clear out the rest of the TSM defense. But aside from that, we're going to see these players forced back a little bit here. TSM not able to play out their aggression, probably to the fullest extent they would want to now due to that restriction. But thankfully as well, still have a good amount of map control, so might still have some weight to throw around here. Just not going to find it on the freezer side of the map. All the control that TSM has centered almost entirely on the Big Tower portion of the map, which means the BC do have free right to operate on pretty much the rest of the XQ that they would want to go for. It is looking like they want to play heavily into the laundry stairs as well as freezer push right now, so it might be a combined bout from them, especially if they've read into the fact that Chal is going to be the only real inside presence here. You'll note that TSM has started to correct that by rotating Geo back down, but at the same time, still going to be a 2v3 push with that third player isolated back over towards Big Tower.
Not the worst hold in the world. Definitely doable for TSM as Geo propels himself forward through Freezer. Has to worry about the angle here from Laundry. If it goes too far forward, then we'll actually end up dying to that player over towards his left-hand side. Surf has a frag grenade out. Don't know where this is going just yet, but it's found a home, and it's found a Geo as Surf will swing off of it. Chala to go down as well. It's all left up to Merc. What looked like a round that TSM could get in a 3 versus 3 has all of a sudden turned into a 3 versus 1 with a post plant as Drip completes that. Merc's going to be inside of Elbow for the start of this, and they already have that info after his initial gunfight where he's lost quite a bit of HP. Going to try and go through the rotate here, at least initially, but At a second glance, he's actually going to slow things down. See if any of the Beast Coast members want to try and challenge. Some nice angles being held across the board here, but it's going to be from the pillar angle, from Surf. Not worried about the soft wall, and Beast Coast make it out of it alive in the first round that TSM desperately needed.
So Beast Coast able to rebound and take control of that first round. Certainly going to be a little bit worrisome for the TSM camp. Thankfully, they played things out a bit more aggressively that round. Took a few risks on trying to kind of weigh out exactly what kind of game Beast Coast was going to play here, so there's still room for quick corrections to come in from TSM, playing to a much more traditional style of Oregon and still be able to hopefully course correct that way. We'll see if that's going to be the case, as they unfortunately won't be able to play directly into that style, since they'll be going over here towards the bedrooms next through the dorms upstairs. So they'll have to still extend their game a slight amount just to try and slow down the pacing from Beast Coast. More of a requirement than anything for this site. We'll see when we go back to the basement if any changes will be brought out for TSM.
Now, this is one of the sites where we normally see a mute brought along for the ride, but since TSM doesn't have access to mute, they're going to play this out a little bit differently. You've more than likely seen some strategies like this before, but TSM is going to actually open up the master closet to go inside of it from games, and a lot of times we'll see defenders, specifically the SAS ops quite often, play right around that breach so they can use the shotgun to its fullest advantage and try and get some easy picks onto the Beast Coast members working their way in to actually breach said wall. So past that, TSM gonna have some setup downstairs inside of kitchen. Don't know if we're gonna have a security player just yet, but I mean, this is looking pretty swell from TSM, at least initially.
Definitely the case here. Not going to see much easy access be prevalent for the Beast Coast rosters. They'll need to set up to clear out a lot. They may not necessarily have what's necessary to do so. Good amount of nades, but they'll need to get into position to properly use those. Beast Coast is wasting no time with the clear, though. Slash already working his way into the showers and already with a kill as well. Merc tries to challenge on the alibi from the edge of Yellow Hall and pays the price, and then Slash negotiates in for a second one as well, following the tracers from Bolo and take him down as well.
And that's the thing that you have to worry about. TSM, they're doing their damnedest right now to try and take it to Beast Coast, but as Blue had said earlier, Beast Coast have not a single thing to worry about. They are coasting through this matchup, and more than likely, John, they're just having a whole heck of a lot of fun. And that is possibly the worst case scenario that TSM could have on their hands, because, I mean, this is a hotly contested series for them. They have to care, and if they don't, then more than likely Beast Coast is going to bowl them over. I mean, even past that, if it does get too much of an anxiety-ridden situation, then that could also punish TSM severely as well. You don't want to be having some massive weight on your shoulders while you're trying to perform all at the same time. It doesn't exactly bode that well for quite a few people. So now Beast Coast with their initial 3 picks looking quite swell here. A minute and 20 seconds. Chala's going to be in behind the dorm set. We smoking out big window. Don't know if he is aware that a player will be around white. Achieved will be able to take down at least one, but that's going to be Chala's life now gone. They know that Achieved has to be around somewhere, as he just got a kill over on the trophy side. Beast Coast quick to the trigger, and they'll win the round because of it.
Not even having to really negotiate their way past a lot of that utility that was deployed by TSM for the most part. Beast Coast able to outright ignore that. Some really bad signs here for the start of the game for TSM. Going to need to see how quickly they're able to potentially fix their problems.
I'm not going to lie. I really think that if you're going to call a timeout, you call the timeout right now.
That's what I was going to say. They're probably going to wait another round because they see all 3 sites at least, but I would not disagree with it if we went for one right now, because this is a really poor start from TSM.
This is just kind of a mental reset moment, and really, really hoping that TSM has this in the bag themselves. I mean, just remember, TSM are hammer lifters. This is not a slouch of a team. This is not something where it's like, oh, TSM just got to the NAL last stage, and they're trying to figure it out. No. Not that at all. In fact, we're probably going to be seeing Lamborghinis on the Insta stories here soon once that paycheck hits, you know what I mean? So, but for TSM, I think that they definitely have some options still in their bag, and it's mostly just getting these trades. They're challenging or getting caught off guard, really, in a lot of different circumstances, and forcing them into these really awkward situations where they have to try and go for these trades, but it's not exactly a clear-cut situation, like for what happened to Bolo there inside of showers, where, hey, you just got to kind of pre-fire and really just pray that you get anything there. But what happens, Surf immediately, or rather Slash immediately, takes him down over inside of Cafe. So TSM looking for the mental reset here in round 3. Beast Coast, they've changed some things up a little bit. Slash won't be on the Zofia this time around. Instead, bringing the Nook.
Slight changes to the attacking lineup for Beast Coast here, just to try and give a little bit more flexibility. Slash already working his way down through the laundry stairs. Going to see if he can get an opener here, but yeah, has missed the opportunity. The timing just doesn't go his way, unfortunately. So he'll have to back away, and unfortunately won't even be able to back away. Merc decides to insert himself up the freezer stairs and down the class hallway to catch the rotation from Slash as he works his way back up. That'll knock him out, take him down. But Sweater as well now going to be isolated out by Bolo upstairs. So 2 down for Beast Coast. Finally, TSM able to put themselves in proper positioning this time on this roam, getting way more in the way of Beast Coast clear, and as a result, we're obviously seeing the impact being made before our eyes.
Yeah, really the only difference being that they're winning their ones. Bolo's going to win out his second one, his third one as well. I mean, yeah, it's easy for this guy, except he's dead now, so that's a little bit of a different circumstance, but it doesn't really matter because Drip more than likely not going to clutch this. Do love you, Drip, but it's a 1 versus 4, my friend, and I don't see you getting that far, especially with like 0 presence around downstairs and the potential to have quite a few people on roam. And not only that, but he's put some X-Kairos pellets down. You know how loud that is, John? It's very loud, which means that TSM more than likely know exactly where he is, relatively speaking, at the current moment. He'll be able to get rid of the camera outside, but really Drip is just taking some time to be able to talk to his team and see if they can change anything up for round 4.
Drip once again going to try and mask some sound. Also able to open up a few barricades for himself to play to. Not that there's really going to be any huge tactical advantage for that at this point in the round. Like Stokes was mentioning, more so just to mask the entry potentially more than anything else. So he'll be able to move forward. Has the pre-fire. Nice shot as well to be able to take out Merc. At least gets away with 1 for himself. But anything beyond this is pretty much going to be nigh impossible to achieve. We will have to wait and see what he's actually able to put up on the board. But
if the crosses are played correctly, John, sometimes you never know. You never know.
Inserts himself through the back stairs. He's going to have to watch out for the player hiding out by Harry Potter. That is not going to be able to catch them so easily. More so than anything, too, it's just a feigned tack pause for Beast Coast. They're just going to kind of waste their remaining time on the clock, and this is an opportunity for Beast Coast to figure out what went wrong on that round and not have to waste an actual pause doing it, basically.
Yeah, this is amazing entertainment for everybody at home right now, for sure. No, I think the thing is, past that, is that this is actually longer than a usual timeout as well. So Beast Coast has quite a bit of time to try and figure this out without having to use their tack pause just yet. And also, TSM figuring out their stuff on their end, mostly just the Bolo show really on the top floor, and Beast Coast not respecting him to the fullest, taking a lot of one-on-one engagements and just trying to pick up the pieces after the initial engagements went awry. So Gio's going to be able to pick up that last kill as Triple finally descend the stairwell and give himself over to the TSM gods. TSM finally with their very first round here in round 3.
Big chip to Bolo for the play on that round, of course, being able to pretty much single-handedly detach the attacker lineup from any viable strat, as we see him get a triple kill, I believe, over the course of this round, and is finally taken out, of course, on the rotation down, but at that point it's left down to a 1 versus 4, so not really a viable win, unfortunately, for Drip. He drops that one. Beast Coast still ahead, though, by 1, but now TSM finally forced onto a new site as they'll be locking basement away, heading up to Kids instead, where we'll have to see if they can make things up, because arguably this attack from Beast Coast on this site was even cleaner than what we saw back on the first round.
I love how confused Doa was by this question.
Oh, yeah.
It made me so happy inside. I could die happy after seeing that, just knowing that he really didn't know what was going on with the whole banana thing. 57% for Merc, and it damn well should be. I mean, off the banana is on a mission and really holding up the mantle of what Poge was capable of back in the day in very similar circumstances, at least with banana. So TSM, they're going to set things up extremely similar to what we saw the last time for their upstairs defense. They're going to have this extension out towards Cafe. Bolo will more than likely play in this area. I'm assuming Merc will be around Z/bottom white/security and might try and assist Bolo if things start to devolve over on this end of the building yet again. Now, just to remind you, last time that we saw this, Slash did have quite the entry as, whoa, Merc's going to get caught off guard on the window. Sweater pre-fires the bottom of white. And we'll be able to take him down. Merc just not having a game today.
Unfortunately, even had the premature warning, too, from the pre-fire before. I think he might have stepped into it thinking that the pre-fire was over with, but then it starts up again and unfortunately knocks his head off. So, unlucky start to the round for Merc. He ends up going down. Beast Coast, of course, more than happy about that, and they're just going to try to carry this forward into an execute. It'll work, too. Slash walks right into Kids, and it's completely undefended. He'll even get a free kill for it. Drip with another one. TSM's defense falling apart at the seams for the second defense in a row on this site. They can do virtually nothing about this retake now. They've lost virtually all all map control in a matter of about 5 seconds. Gio, that's a gun barrel. You're not going to be able to shoot that.
Oh!
And Sir, now ready to take the kill when he swings out. It's an easy win for Beast Coast as they go up to 3 now.
That was a little gross. That was just a tiny bit disgusting. Might need a PG-13 next to that shot. That's all I'm saying. So, Beast Coast, and specifically Drip, just out here. Slash flying in the window, getting this initial frag onto Chala, immediately slaps the plant down, and TSM are completely caught off guard. And I just want to remind everyone at home, Beast Coast is that team when it comes to Amaru. They really want to Gara hook into your site and get a plant down. We've seen it, I believe, 3 times attempted by this team alone. We've seen some other teams try it like 1 time, but this is the team that you have to be aware that they can potentially throw a rush at you at a moment's notice. And TSM are completely caught off guard, discombobulated in the moment, and they lose the round, now 3-1, and TSM really have to come back in these next 2 rounds, and that's going to force the TAC timeout because of it.
So the expected pause to come from TSM, like we said before, probably expected it to come a few rounds back, but TSM potentially not realizing how dire the situation was until that last round. At least had the correction available to be able to go back to basement and win 1 round there, but the kids' defense needs a lot of work. This has been 2 very straightforward rounds, at least as far as Beast Coast is concerned, on that upstairs hold so far.
Yes, indeed. And now they're going to throw themselves into the kitchen meeting defense. And this one's pretty unique, especially with the way that TSM has been holding map control for Oregon inside of the first minute. Really extended out towards the sides of the building, so it could be very helpful for them to play this site.
You can see once again the stakes, mainly for TSM here. Obviously, Beast Coast are out of the running for Berlin, but TSM still has a 41% chance to make it through, obviously pending other game results, with a victory here inside of regulation, but the chances go down to only 9% if they need to push it to overtime. So to emphasize what we were saying before, TSM need to win this in as clean of a fashion as possible, and obviously not doing the greatest job at that right now, as they're down 2 rounds behind Beast Coast on the defensive side of Oregon as well.
Yeah, it's already starting to slip through their fingers and really trying to get in front of this before they get to the offensive end. Want to try and tie things up as soon as humanly possible. That's what we're going to have achieved, more on a forward hold here towards Showers. Real assistance when it comes to the utility department, but doesn't really need it. As long as he is aware of when he is droned out or anything of the sort, then he should be fine to hold on to this for some time. He's going to actually walk all the way over into small tower. Now, this wouldn't exactly be the most helpful if you're worried about the big window, but he's worried about this outside. He is worried about all the way across a big tower, and this angle, it's disgusting, let me tell you, especially if you're able to get a 1.5 or something all the way over here and get some of that magnification to assist you with some of those longer shots. But when somebody as skilled as Achieved, all it's going to take is a moment's notice, and he'll more than likely have a kill on his hands. But even though Beast Coast are not aware of his positioning, they're doing a bang-up job of avoiding him.
TSM continuing to try and bait out the time at the moment. We're going to see Gio continue to wait for an opportunity to frag out, but Beast Coast being a little bit less secure with their at least initial execute this time compared to some of the previous rounds, taking it a heck of a lot slower, building down this time. Good thing is, though, still fairly early in the rounds. This is going to be a huge detraction for them as long as they can correct it, but that's not the way the round starts off. Aggression from Chala is pointed correctly and is able to find Surf, knocking out the sledge from play. First off here, bringing it down to a 5v4.
Well, Gio, prime position right now. How's the angle to play out against Beast Coast? He's going to take a simple misstep inside of tower, and there's a kill, but Beast Coast, they've wrapped around the building, and they take out 2 in the actual site. Merc tries to come back, but they've flooded the kitchen, and the plant's now going down for Drip. He's going to stick that as Slash overwatches over towards Meeting. Achieved, currently inside of Z. But where is Gio at? Gio had such a strong position over near tower, but he's dead in the water. He's still all the way over here. A stick in the mud, and now has to try and clutch out into 1 versus 3, where Beast Coast can take the advantage on the offensive side before switching at half. Gio now working his way through Meeting, has the potential to find the initial one, and he will. Can't get the second though, as Sweater will swing him out, and Beast Coast secure their 4th.
beastcoast continue to make their mark known inside of this matchup. Continue to play spoiler more than anything for TSM here, dashing their chances to go through to the major, just like we saw for our friends on Mirage a few days back. You guys trusted Nyx before, and now you have to trust Drip to lock out another team here. TSM fairly close to being knocked out of the major entirely if beastcoast can just pick up 3 more rounds.
The TL is going to be the craziest place if Drip gatekeeps TSM from going to a major. Like, I might have to like put my phone inside of like a biohazard bag to open Twitter at that moment in time. It's going to be just so crazy. But excited to see what's going to happen in you know, these closing rounds here on this map. And it's so weird to be saying closing rounds. We're really only halfway through. But TSM, I mean, they've shown signs of life, but it hasn't been something that's exactly been how do I put this? Really making it to where I want to put all of, you know, my strength and my my will into TSM. I don't really have the utmost confidence in them. It's definitely not something that instills confidence in me, for sure. So for Beast Coast, though, this is looking to be their last offensive round here, either way you cut it. So they're going to be going with a fairly straightforward lineup. The Twitch is actually going to be working her way in here, which we haven't been seeing too much for their offensive side, but always a nice pickup with that F2 and the extra drone that you get with that prep phase drone.
So away from that, things are going to go fairly quiet on the map as TSM calm themselves down. Obviously momentarily, of course, given their strategy over the past few rounds here. We know they want to play quite aggressively, but they need to wait for the right opportunity to do so. So they're going to continue to sit back, wait to see where beastcoast goes for the initial clear, which is not going to be the usual small tower route. We are going to see a few players try to at least set up to insert themselves through the front lobby and garage area. And a few more members of TSM are going to continue to deploy. More so towards the back side of the map that you were seeing set up from before. Geo over the back of Attic there, another player on the back of the tower stairs. Look at their first chance to confront against the BC clear, as now Slash has committed himself to the small tower play. And obviously, as you can see, a few more have inserted themselves over towards the media room connector and front lobby.
Sweater's going to drone Anthony down laundry stairs. It's a beauty that Sweater picked Twitch here. If he's able to get this drone in, oh, I think he might actually get that mirror window downstairs. Geo's rotating it across upstairs. There's a sledge over inside of his dorms area. He might have this kill. Actually, oh, easy peasy. Lemon squeezy. Geo, don't do that to me. Surf is going to end up dying here. Well, at least have the initial pick, but now Sweater has to go soul searching, as there is still a lone soul all the way upstairs. As Geo try and wean down this timer.
Half the round gone and relatively inactive here. beastcoast being obviously fairly cautious since they're going to be down on players, not wanting to take an additional risk on losing another one and put them down to a 3v5. Geo, though, going to potentially take his opportunity since they have the advantage. Did he get spotted by that drone? It would seem as though it's a yes, considering the pre-fire coming out, but it's not effective from Sweater. In fact, Sweater himself dropped to only a sliver of HP now. He's going to have to try and hide this out in the corner, hoping to get lucky with the headshot play against Geo, but not going to be able to find it so easily. You can see other members of beastcoast also trying to help out here, isolate Geo, but so much time is being wasted as a result of this. Realistically, yeah, even if Geo gets iced out here, he's still going to be in a good position because he's going to leave the members of beastcoast with only 40 seconds to execute into the site, with a player down and potentially a second one about to die as well.
Now, the big thing for TSM is that they cannot overswing here. It's going to be a very decisive moment for them when they're able to actually battle back against beastcoast. That's not the opener that you're looking for, as Drip will take down Merc. Bolo has to try and play this out from the freezer hallway, but he's been discovered. He's going to get it down, but they're actually going to be able to take out Shala behind him as well. Bolo for 2, Bolo for 3. Bolo's clutching it out. He's got the pistol! Bolo will keep TSM alive. The hot-handed young blood will get it done, and they'll at least be able to slow down beastcoast before the half switches.
That's 2 rounds today for Bolo, shutting it down for TSM. Did so, on the upstairs hold earlier on in this match as well, and now doing it again on the final round of the first half inside of the basement hold. Absolutely beautiful play from the man himself, the one that many come to know as the star of this team, is looking to reclaim that title once again as TSM finally get another round going before we indeed, as Stokes was mentioning, switch sides here, put beastcoast onto the defensive end of things. We're already going to get some small change-ups to the player lineup. Heavier emphasis on mitigation coming in for BC, as they're going to bring both the Jaeger as well as the Wamai. Different form of slowdown, though, is yes, they'll also have the smoke, but they are also going to bring the T'Chaka from Anthony's POV to try and also add an additional layer of slowdown for TSM's clear.
So are you a big fan or are you a massive fan of this? Because there's not really any other option. You can't say Chonka is a negative thing because that's kind of against the code. So, I mean, personally, I think that this is beautiful because really what this is a TSM strategy, if anybody remembers. TSM is actually the team that hallmarked this, where Tachanka will hold down Freezer and Smoke will hold down Laundry, and you have two denial ops for the forward way of taking the site that can seriously hamper a lot of the offense's ways to actually get in. So they have to eventually rotate around to the other end, and if Tachanka still has utility, then he can get in the way yet again. It's just a really long delay game, and Beast Coast trying to make it even worse by placing Sweater on the roam near the main stairs.
So we're going to be in a bit of a precarious position, so not too surprised that he ends up backing away from that as quickly as he does. But Stokes, you could hear him getting a little bit worried for a reason. So a reason for that, rather, to correct myself, is Sweater is going to have to go through a heck of a lot of crosses to be able to get somewhere even remotely safe. And
that's why.
There's just no escaping it when the drones are that hot on your tail. Bolo has a fairly easy time locking out Sweater. That's, as well, not going to waste a whole bunch of time in terms of being able to knock him out. Only about a minute drained off the clock in the process of doing so. So still plenty of time for TSM to worry about the rest of their clear.
Yeah, the first time that you get taken out by Stellar droning, it's like the weirdest time you've ever played Rainbow Six. It's like this person just randomly peeked an angle and I just instantaneously died. Like, it's some of the wackiest stuff ever. But like, funny enough, when the original time that happened to me was the qualifier for like SI 2017 for the consoles, and I was playing against Redeemer from OXG. And we were playing Clubhouse, and they actually just smoked us because of droning. Like, that stuff is worth its weight in gold, and that shows you exactly why. Look at how much pressure they put on Sweater just coming from the main stairs, all the pre-fires he had to go through, that angle that I was worried about and you were talking about out on Master. There's so many little things that you have to be very aware of when you're roaming like that because of the info that the offense can get, and it makes it a really, really difficult job. And you know, that's why a lot of the times we talk about how your main job really isn't killing things, it's delaying that time and trying to get that timer down to about the halfway mark. Now that won't be accomplished this time around, but TSM, they're not exactly making the greatest of headways, have at least gotten some aspects of things wrapped up, and they're starting to drain things on site, but this is still going to leave the door open for Beast Coast to deny, delay, and win round 7.
I'm trying to make these angles work, but the delay is holding them up to a huge degree right now. This is why they brought this, but they also have to be careful as these nades are just as dangerous. Cross now being established by Bolo, but he can't follow it through as Surf swings out for a second time. He's able to pick up a response. Unfortunately, he's not making up a huge difference.
Oh
no! Surf with the sidearm about to save the day here. Knocking out two players back-to-back on top of that third kill he already got. Had the pre-fire for Geo as well, but just can't land the shot. He shuts it out for TSM instead, and they take a third round. Only one behind. The results coming in from Beast Coast now.
Geo Knight is a knight in shining armor from Pillar. Very scary fight there as well, as Surf literally pixels away from his noggin as he rounds the pillar at the other end of the hallway. And TSM are able to bring this one step closer to tying up with Beast Coast, currently 4-3 in favor of BC. They're feeling like a defense downstairs yet again could potentially be the game changer here. Not going to have too much of a change-up, minus the Warden coming in, and they'll also end up dropping the Chonka because of that, but we're still going to have the mirror windows and everything else in between.
Well, Beast Coast still ahead, but now losing their opportunity to actually surge ahead. Have to be able to solidify things on this round. And they are going to change up the strategy to be able to do it. As you guys may have already noticed, much less of an emphasis on the slowdown this time. Obviously, the smoke being the exception to that. Instead, they're going to bring that mirror. And we talked about what kind of power she can bring to bear earlier on when we were about to start this match, and we're about to finally see what exactly that will show up. As Slash is going to be able to mount those mirrors, one going inside of the freezer wall, looks like, another one probably going to be deployed to that interior laundry closet to be able to fend off more aggressive peaks from TSM. Obviously, this isn't going to do anything against the play from the back side of the map. If TSM want to go for a backstairs or construction execute, but we have been seeing TSM try to play a little bit more into that front side based off the first round, so we'll have to see if they'll directly contest against those mirrors this time around.
All right, well, drones out for a TSM, attempting to clear the mid-floor, and it shouldn't be too hard. Why? Because all of Beast Coast is downstairs, so they're not going to have to look too far to be able to know that things are clear. This is going to allow TSM some early control. I also love the fact that Bolo's brought Flores. Reason being, and I really don't know why we didn't see this when Beast Coast was on offense, they banned Mute. You banned Mute. Why are we not using Flores here? Flores is like, that's his direct counter, you know, I mean, and nobody really plays Mozzie anymore, but, you know, hey, it is what it is. But TSM are definitely going to be able to use these Rotero drones to a pretty incredible result, mostly because of the deployable shields that'll be set up for Beast Coast on defense. Those Rotero drones will be able to get rid of that, and they also circumvent all of Surf and Drip's utility. They can't stop that drone from going in there and exploding. So this is a really, really good pickup from TSM, and really good idea or really good general sense of what is going on with the meta and the way that these operators affect each other.
Be curious if Beast Coast kind of expected a bit more Mozzie to come out from TSM in the previous F, and that's why they generally tended to avoid Flores, or if there was some other reason, such as just doesn't really work into their playstyle. Either way, you make an excellent point, and I'm curious now as to why we weren't seeing more of it previously, as TSM looking to try and open up as many options as possible to work their way into the rest of the depths of this basement. Surf ready to challenge against the initial backstairs clear, but won't get the opportunity to frag here. Unfortunately, Drone's going to spot him out. That'll flush him down. Should flush him even further back, but he actually, oh no, he hasn't noticed this drone sitting on the edge of the construction doorway. That's going to leave him exposed and in a bad position. BC getting blinded out there as well. The execute from TSM has to be coming in at any moment. Mark, the player that had thrown those stuns in against our player playing construction, now having to drop in through E. There's going to be a Toxic Babe directly in the way as they go for it, however, but they're still able to negotiate a one-to-one even exchange. And more importantly, Mark gets himself territory inside of the site. However, that's going to be immediately negated now by Slash's Nitro. This is such an awkward fight, though. We have these Maverick holes that have been made by Chala. It's not really doing favors for either team, though, as kills are being fought from both sides of the angle. Surf with a big pickup, though, may have made up the difference for BC, as now Gio's left alone. No case control either, only 20 seconds to clutch the 1v2. He's going to attempt to creep forward. You can see there, however, as he stops down this hallway, he's a little bit unsure about the positions of the final two players. Just going to have to guess for it, and unfortunately doesn't get the right read. Surf with one more on the board for BC, and they pick up yet another round. Just 2 away now from shutting out the opportunity for TSM to go to the major.
Now TSM having to pick up, I do believe, 4 rounds in a row in order to win this in regulation and give themselves the best advantage that they can potentially muster at the current moment in order to get to Berlin. This is for all the marbles, folks. Beast Coast are getting so very close to forcing this to overtime. If you're a TSM fan, you really don't want to see BC get this next round, but they have so many chances to push on to that penultimate point.
Indeed, 2 rounds of a cushion now, where they even have to start worrying about things. And in all honesty, like we said, at the end of the day, Beast Coast do not have to worry about anything ultimately, as their chances have already been dashed. They're just playing this for the fun and the experience of going up against the world champs, not to mention potentially try out a few things in the strat book as well, seeing as they're going to have a few months off between now and stage 3. Away from that, not going to see anything too crazy in terms of the defender-sided lineup here. Just the usual assortment, especially considering what we were seeing in the previous round too, that Warden's going to make another return for Sweater, so going to be interesting to see where specifically he's going to be playing. Drip going wild, though, with the outdoor swing. Mark, in the meanwhile, also gets contested by another member of the squad. Slash apparently tried to push out against him. I guess it was over here to the front door. As up, we're also going to see some damage going to Merc, but quite obviously Merc's able to trade that damage back and knock Slash out of the play entirely. So far, TSM winning in the opening gunfights.
Yeah, but just give it a moment here, John. I'm telling you. Oh, Sweater, you're not going to... Oh, I swear I thought he was going to nitro sell the van. And I was about to be like, are we in my ranked games? Like, what is happening right now? Oh, we're going to push in from the Nook. No, actually, Merc second guessing it. Doesn't want to push out just yet, and he really shouldn't. Such low HP, no one really able to work off of him either. He's kind of waiting for the counter angle here as of right now, and that's going to be it. Nothing really to do with that situation there. It's going to be an easy headshot for Sweater, so the HP didn't even matter at the end of the day.
Timer down to 2 minutes now, and everything's going to go quiet for a moment. Obviously, as we had that awkward gunfight at the beginning of the round, bringing us down to a 4v4 ultimately. So TSM have to figure out what they can exactly negotiate towards with the reduced numbers now. They'll also have to account for any changes that may have happened in the BC lineup. But meanwhile, it seems that Surf's just going to take the initiative on his own like we saw in the previous round. He'll run right out through top white and catch a curious Bolo to be able to knock out the Yana. That removes that additional droning utility in the form of the Gemini. 2 nades also knocked out of the round now too. Thankfully, TSM has 4 more aside from what was bought by Bolo. And technically, they started this round round with 8, assuming Merc had also selected it. So quite a bit being brought into the fray from TSM to try to knock out this utility from down below.
Yeah, they're doing such a good job of catching TSM off guard. It just seems like Beast Coast has been working on the Siege sucker punch, constantly able to pick off players without anyone really aware of what's going on at that moment. So it's been pretty interesting to watch so far. Chala's going to hold across here, at least for some time. Everything's so very quiet as of now. TSM really not knowing where to go, and really, I mean, where do you? Everything's smoked off. Geo can't just like hop inside of the main window. He'll immediately die. He's got some stuff to burn out here, but if he doesn't want to miss time, then those will just turn back on, and then his last stun's not going to be effective anyways. Nice shot there from Achieve, but Sweater will take down one, and so will Surf. It's going to be all up to Achieve now. With Frag Grenade out, it's going to deal some damage to him, and so will Surf with an immediate headshot as Beast Coast will go up onto map and match point, and you can just tell how nonchalant BC is at the current moment. If BC was one person, they're drip bulling, tossing a hot hands up and down.
I want to see him juggle those by the end of the game. Let's go. Come on.
I don't know if he's got any juggling skills.
Do 2 at once. Let's see it. Admins, tell him.
The hot and special.
No.
With 2 with 1 hand. That's talent right there. That is talent right there. But we're going to get back into the game now, folks, and some interesting series of events, I would say, Blue. What's your thoughts on what's been going on here, man? Like, TSM, they're just not really looking like the greatest form of themselves at the current
the last 2 rounds, they just haven't been prepared for any of the aggression that's been swung on against them. If we're being completely honest, Surf on his own has stunted most of the execute power from TSM over these past 2 rounds just by kind of like randomly peeking a few angles, and that's pretty much it at the end of the day. We've been seeing him play into White Stairs in the previous round. That caught Bolo off guard. Pretty sure he did get at least 1 more kill. And then, of course, the basement play, too, where he's just constantly popping out of corners, getting in the way. TSM just don't know where and when to expect it from. And as a result of that, they are constantly being forced back into a corner, trying to figure out what to do next, only to run into that same pitfall again, like 30 seconds later.
Yeah. Surf has most definitely been the thorn in the side of TSM that's been constantly, slowly bleeding them out. Whenever he's able to fire back and get a big kill, it usually means that Beast Coast is set up for success. And, I mean, we've seen that throughout this series thus far. Beast Coast is going to select Kitchen and Meeting as their potentially last defensive site, as TSM's going to need 3 rounds just to make it to overtime. They're going to lose one of their initial drones as, wow, TSM, what are we doing here, folks? This drone game is terrible. 2 down, 4 down, 5, 6, 7 drones in less than 30 seconds. Slash is killed, I'm going to call it right here, guys. Like, this is not a round for TSM.
That's got to be the earliest I've ever seen a drone count that low.
Especially for TSM. Like, where's the mental?
Quite literally in my entire Siege career, I've never seen a drone count that low this early in the round.
That's not a good sign at all.
It's even worse, too, because Beast Coast, you know they're going to double down on their aggression because they brought Thunderbird. So they know they want players rolling out, maybe taking a bullet or 2 and then running back into sight, juicing themselves up real quick, and then going back out again. So how is TSM going to course correct for this?
Well, Merc's going to be able to at least pick up 1, but Sweater's going to immediately fire back. Geo with a beautiful kill. That was a clutch if I ever saw it.
All right.
They're trying to pick it up now, and I mean, I think TSM is just throwing it to the wind. They don't care about drones. They don't care about anything, not even their own body. They're just throwing it at the wall and hoping that it sticks. It's going to be a 2 versus 2. Chala's putting the plant down inside of Meeting, and Geo's got the overwatch, and he's got this player moving in from the split side, or rather the stage side, as he plays inside of split. We'll be able to at least take down Anthony, and I cannot believe my eyes, ladies and gentlemen. Chala and the rest of TSM clutch out with literally 0 info game. They rotate around the building, and they decimate Beast Coast as they're just very lackadaisical over on the tower and Meeting side and get caught completely off guard. What a clutch from the TSM lineup.
Geo decides to fight fire with fire here, at least with regards to the entry game. Brute forces his way, and as Stokes is mentioning, quite literally with 0 intel game. They only had 3 drones left, so what game could they have realistically had at that point? Regardless, though, Geo is able to make it work, finds a hole in the defense, and through that and a few other nice exploitations from TSM, they are able to get that surprising 4th round up onto the board. Still match point for Beast Coast, though, as they head back to the basement now to try to lock things in here. Well, they'll have this round and 1 more opportunity to end it in regulation and hand TSM a 0-pointer for the day.
Yeah, that was a nail biter right there. Even a team like TSM, when you're that low on drone count that early in the round, there's really not much that you can do. You're really banking on the fact that you can try and find some things through game sense, and that's exactly what happened there for them. They can't capitalize on any of the early info because they lost 7 drones inside of the first 30 seconds. It's not something that you really ever
6.
see. What, you're kidding?
They're down to 4 already.
What? What? Oh, no.
Oh, okay, yeah, that
So
was just a respawn.
it's
Sorry, yeah, that's my bad. I forgot it refreshes when we
yeah,
go
it
back
splits
into
itself.
phase.
Yeah,
my bad.
No, it is your
I was
bad.
like so
your bad,
excited
Tom.
because it happened the last year. I was like, there's no way it just happened again. Then I realized that, oh wait, there can't be more than 5 drones locked out. So.
No, if it did, I wouldn't want to be in the TSM house when they got home because Pojo be going nuke.
Yeah. So it's better. Ignore what I just said, folks. They do have 9 this time. So they're doing much better so far with regards to that. As we see them move in for their initial clear here. Just the usual small tower clear first to start things off. And then we'll have the rest of the team working their way in through lobby. Not going to see any surprises more than likely. Even BC has a fairly reserved composition, playing it almost entirely on the horizontal basis this time. So not going to see any shenanigans pop out probably within these first 2 minutes, as it'll mainly just be both teams trying to gather intel.
Yes, indeed. And we will keep you updated on the drone game. And as of right now, looking pretty stellar. They've only lost a singular drone, apparently. And I think that was Merc's, one of his Twitch drones, I'm assuming. But either way, Merc's actually going to end up working his way down towards the bottom of Armory. And the rest of TSM still working on the mid floor. Chala's going to end up getting open these hatches so that they can start trying to build things up towards an execution here. Merc's actually going to take some damage from the bottom of the stairwell as he peeks things out. He's going to deal more than he... Well, actually, no, I am very, very wrong about that. Slash is actually going to be the one that deals more damage than he receives, as Merc is going to take some heat, but neither player going down to a detrimental amount just yet. Also, a little bit of an update as to the site setup. Slash has actually lost his mirror window to one of Merc's drones. And speaking of drones, Bolo is now going to make a nice rotation here inside of the freezer wall. Open that up, make things a little easier to deal with the hallway.
Gio gets the nade toss in and is going to try and isolate out mainly just the utility here. It's not really going to force Anthony back just yet either. He wants to play this out because he has the Toxic Babe, so is at least going to get a small damage advantage should someone from TSM decide to press their way through his setup here. Going to go for it, but quite expectedly, Anthony is very much ready for that, so there's no problem shutting down the play. And oh no, Merc assuming that there wouldn't have been enough confidence from Anthony to play around the corner. He is dead wrong about that, and a free second kill is just gifted over to Beast Coast. Slash now knocking out another member of the squad. Chala really the lone member with any interior sight control over by Pillar. He's going to try to wrap it over and attempt to take out Anthony. Works out there, but the problem is he's lost Achieved halfway in the process now fully from the Nitro Cell. Chala is the only player remaining here. The world champions are just one frag away from losing their chances at a major yet again, and it's looking more and more like it's about to happen. So close to the kill on Drip, but can't confirm it. He's a bullet off. There we go.
Oh,
makes up for it, but it's not going to be enough. Sweater closes down, and that's going to be Beast Coast denying the Berlin entry for TSM.
TSM has not been out of the US since SI in Sweden. Well, they ended up lifting a hammer. Stage 2 is going to come to a